Hey, so for anybody that's wondering what's going on with Section 8, if it's true about they trying to get rid of Section 8, it's very much true. That is very much so. That is not no lie. That is not no gossip. That is a fact.
To all the people that's on Section 8, he is giving y'all 2 years to get on your feet. Trump said stop being dependent and become independent. I agree. I'm not no hating ass bitch. I'm not knocking nobody's situation. But if you really think about it, Section 8 is only to assist you to get on your feet. Section 8 is a stepping stone to get you on your feet. Section 8 is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life.
So apparently the rumors about them shutting down the Section 8 program are true. There seems to be people who've been taking advantage of this program for the last 10 to 20 years now. Some of these people even passing it down generation after generation, which is honestly crazy to think that there's people out there who never even got a chance to work for themselves because they was put onto the Section 8 program by their parents.
Hey, so for anybody that's wondering what's going on with Section 8, if it's true about they trying to get rid of Section 8, it's very much true. That is very much so. That is not no lie. That is not no gossip. That is a fact. And if you don't believe me, check this out. So basically what that means is the government is basically slowly pulling the plug on Section 8, HUD, and any other government assisted living, okay? So what that means, your housing voucher, your Section 8, your HUD, your GRAFA, whatever, if it's funded by the federal government, they cutting that in half, meaning it's not finna be a lot of government housing going on, okay? Now, with all of that being said, they also changing stipulations and guidelines when it come to being qualified and being a recipient of Section 8. And some of that goes along with this. Now, some of those new stipulations and guidelines is this. If you've been on Section 8 more than 2 years prior to this going in effect, you coming up off of it. Going forward, you can no longer be on Section 8 no more than 2 years. If you have been on Section 8 more than 2 years prior to this law going into effect, when it go into effect, you coming up off of it immediately. They notifying tenants who've been on it longer than 2 years, meaning you could have got back on it in 2010. If you have been on it longer than 2 years, they notifying tenants, and each state is going to vary. You have 60 to 90 days, depending on which state. 60 to 90 days after you are notified that you have been on Section 8 longer than 2 years, you have to find somewhere else to stay at, because after they notify you, have 60 to 90 days before you basically will be evicted, removed from the program. It's no more generation to generation, none of that stuff. It's a wrap. This is not a Georgia law, this is not a Texas law, this is not an Alabama law, this is a United States law. Meaning once this is passed, every state that receives funding from the federal government to support assisted living, they cutting the funding in half. And once they cut it in half, they trying to come back and do away with it altogether. Stay tuned.
Basically, if you've been on the Section 8 program for more than 2 years, then at this point, you know that you're at risk of being kicked out of the program. The main reason they're doing this is because a lot of people have been taking advantage of the program for years now. Some people have been in this program for over 20 years. So at this point, do they still need it? I'm giving out the 2-year grace period. It should be more than enough time to get your stuff together. You don't need 10 plus years to figure it out.
We're gonna make sure this house is still empty and safe for the owner to come do a walkthrough later. Hello? If anyone's in here, you need to make yourself known right now.
That's crazy.
Whew. All right.
They didn't even try.
The neighbors called us and told us that they broke in, but I don't see a sign of a break-in. No. Let's go check the backyard. Oh man, that's gonna be fun.
So this right here seems to be the other issue with Section 8 tenants. Apparently, a lot of these tenants are leaving the houses in shambles when they leave. And what makes this worse is the people that work for Section 8 don't do anything about this. Landlords are getting tired of renting out to Section 8 tenants because of this reason. And can you really blame them?
As you can see, I'm back here at this property. Now, these tenants here, because I came here last time and I told them that they could not park their vehicle in the yard. I believe that was, you can't park it in the grassy area like those because it destroys the grass. And also it's clearly stated in their lease that they cannot park vehicles in the yard. As you can see, they parked it there, they parked it there.
Common sense.
So I posted signs in the yard that no parking is allowed. Now, the purpose I'm here today is to put this notice of eviction on the door. This notice here. So in Florida, we have to give them a notice. So I've given them a notice for them to move out because they have decided that they're not paying the rent. If you're not paying the rent, you have to leave. So you have 3 days. They have 3 days to which to leave before I call the police and let them know that they're not paying the rent. Now, today is the 9th. The rent is due between the 1st and the 3rd, but I give them the grace period of the 4th. By the 5th, I consider it late. And all the time, I've never had the issue with them paying their rent on time, but I told them that they cannot park their vehicle on the grass, which, now they have not been parking the 2 cars on the grass maybe right now because I haven't been back here at night. And you can see where the damage has been done to the property. But nonetheless, now they've decided that they're not paying their rent. Now, keep in mind that there's a penalty for being late, but I didn't charge them that. I didn't say anything. I called her. I called her on the phone. She didn't hang up. She didn't answer. I called her twice. She answered once. When she realized it's me, she hung up. I text her 5, 6, 7 times. Hey, reminder, your rent is due. Still no answer. So I came and I physically knocked on the door. I hear them inside. They refuse to open the door. So at this point, we're just going to go to the courts and have them evicted from the property. So we have to give them a 3-day notice here, which is what I did. I placed it on the door for them to, so they'll have it, and for us to take them to court to get them out of the property, because this is ridiculous. You're not going to stay in the property and, you're not paying your rent. You know what I mean? That makes absolutely no sense. Tell me, people, do you think I'm wrong? And before you guys come in here and say that, there's harassment, these people have lived here about 3 years. This is the first time I've actually come to this property since they live here. And that was just because I was getting a notification from the association telling me that the yard was not being maintained. And we had to do some tree cutting for insurance purposes. That's the only reason I came here. If you look around the neighborhood, you can see everybody else's yard is well maintained, except for this one. Look at the grasses. You can see the grass, and everybody else's yard is maintained, except for this one. And this is part of their lease. So it's definitely part of their lease. And you know what I mean? Look at the satellite dish that's on there. Look at the backyard. Look at the fence. Look at the car in the yard. Still, so instead of parking it in the grass here, they put it on the side. Understand? But tell me, people,
why parking the grass
am I
when
wrong
the road is right there?
For evicting them from the property? Let me know.
I think he made the smart move because it seems like they started feeling entitled to being able to do whatever they wanted to do. And the moment he said no, they got upset. You can't expect to stay somewhere where you're not even paying rent and not think they're going to do anything about it. And the fact that he tried calling them multiple times, he left messages, he even showed up to the house, knocked on the door, and they just ignored him. That right there is more of a reason to just move forward with what he's doing. I honestly don't see nothing wrong with this, but you guys let me know in the comment section.
I personally don't agree with a lot of things Trump is saying, but this one specific thing makes sense to me. To all the people that's on Section 8, he is giving y'all 2 years to get on your feet. Trump said stop being dependent and become independent. I agree. I'm not no hating ass bitch. I'm not knocking nobody's situation. But if you really think about it, Section 8 is only to assist you to get on your feet. Section 8 is a stepping stone to get you on your feet. Section 8 is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Government assistance is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Keyword, assistance, to assist you. Y'all done got too comfortable. There's people that's been on Section 8 for like 10 plus years. That's a long time. Within that amount of time, you should have a lot of money saved up in your bank account, in your savings account. Y'all too busy buying the newest shoes, buying the hottest cars, trying to keep up with the trend, buying designer purses, buying designer clothes, but you're in public housing. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. Let that sink in. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of single mothers out here also that need those type of assistance. But if you just comfortably living off Section 8 and don't care, that's crazy to me. That's the reason why nobody else can get in, because y'all be on Section 8 for years. Y'all not thinking outside the box. Y'all being so dependent. Stop being so dependent and let's become independent.
There's people who've been on this program for over 10 years now, and they still claim they don't have their stuff together. But there's people in the same position as them with 3, 4, 5 kids, and they're out there figuring it out for themselves. They're out there working a job so they can support their family. You don't see them making excuses on why they need assistance from the government. It's not fair to the people who actually need the assistance but can't get it, because there's people in the program who don't need it.
I just started my first eviction. Nightmare scenario. Was hoping to never have to evict anyone from a property. Key lesson here: don't buy properties that have non-Section 8 tenants in them. Section 8 tenants will not get evicted. You don't have to deal with evictions when you're dealing with Section 8 tenants, because they know that if you get evicted as a Section 8 tenant, you lose your voucher. All of a sudden you have to start paying 100% of your rent. It doesn't make sense. You listen to the rules when you're playing a game that's helping you out. When you're a low to medium income family, nobody's helping you. You're paying every bill by yourself. Landlord comes around and says, hey, look, we're going to raise your rent by $50. Screw that. I'm not going to pay. What are the repercussions?
It's crazy.
There are no repercussions for private pay tenants. It's one of the many reasons why Section 8 landlording makes so much sense to me. You'd never want to get evicted as a Section 8 tenant. I wouldn't have to deal with this stuff if I only dealt with Section 8 tenants. 4.5 years, Section 8 tenants only. One private pay tenant, and all of a sudden I'm in an eviction.
For some people, that can be a gray area, because there's a lot of landlords out there who complain about Section 8 tenants. A lot of landlords complain about those tenants leaving the houses in shambles when they move out. And what happens to those tenants? Usually nothing. So they just move on and go to the next house and do the same thing. So if you're having good experience with Section 8 tenants, good for you. But that's not everybody. Some landlords rather have non-Section 8 tenants than having people that are on Section 8. Let me know what you guys think about this. How do you feel about them kicking people out of the Section 8 program and giving people a 2-year minimum to be able to get their stuff together? I want to know what your thoughts are, so let me know down below. But that is the end of this video. So if you enjoyed this one, make sure you leave a like on it. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button too, so you can stay tuned for the next upload. Until then, I'll see you on the next one.